My name is Dmitry. It's written here. I actually changed the slide because the initial presentation was made by Alexander. I will see you. Anyway, you can ask me any questions on that. We'll have 2 talks tomorrow, so today. So yeah, tonight, first talk is about who we are as a company. So I came here, who I am. That would be the shorter one. And the second one, maybe slightly longer, is about Java in containers. We'll hack it, we'll break it, we'll see what happens. Then Java in containers is not the right one. So, my name is Dmitry and I work for BellSoft. It's a young company, but not as young as just 2 years, because we started doing Java for a long time ago. Many of us worked with Sun Microsystems even before they joined Sun Microsystems as employees. The company was called Elbrus MCST, and MCST written in Cyrillic here. That means Moscow Center of Spark Technology. Not surprisingly. Then Sun Oracle, I joined Oracle, and now BellSoft, a company that does its own distribution of OpenJDK. But not only that. We also contribute in other open source projects, mostly in compiler space, like Graal, LVM, GCC, and also some related products, like something that runs on Java, for example, Hadoop. And we work with different hardware architectures. I personally mostly work with Intel and ARM, but we also have Spark, Power, some MIPS, I think. Yeah, it's very interesting when you make bugs on some really rarely accessed hardware. So what do? We contribute to Java. We did it in Oracle, and we continue to do it now. This chart is a bit outdated, but probably, yeah, we're still in very top of enterprise contributors. You know, some company is missing here. Who can guess? Yeah, Red Giant. But if you put it on this slide, it will look like this. Yeah, Oracle still does most of heavy lifting, a lot of work. Red Hat is next, but still much less job. Not a good job. So why do we need our own JDK binary? Well, it all started even before Oracle announced new release cadence. When we started to do Java distribution, it was a time that Oracle stopped supporting Java on ARM. Like it stopped at 8, and we released JDK 9 for Raspberry as a fun project and things like that. But after that, it turned out that we have more options because of a new commercial model for Oracle JDK. So yeah, we started with ARM, and now we have everything, almost. Who here uses Spark? Okay.
Don't be shy.
Yeah, don't be shy.
Actually, we use a big Spark machine, but we use it to run Linux VMs only.
Okay. So it's not Solaris, it's Spark Linux?
I think it's Solaris is the host.
Solaris, okay. So yes, we'll do Solaris, Spark Solaris x86. That's fine. But see the slides? Oh, okay, sorry, something doesn't work. I'll just say it in my own words. So we provide support. So we have to choose carefully what hardware platforms we really need to build on, where we need to present. Because of hardware availability, hardware is expensive, and yeah, when we provide support, we also need machine time. If it's, for example, in some cloud, it really takes some resources. But anyway, there's nothing complex. Oh, now I see, it just shows. Yeah, so we need hardware. As I said, sometimes it's expensive, like power machines, for example. We have a good relationship with IBM. They provide power machines for open source projects. So we use that to study some things, but it's still complicated. So we have hybrid model. We have physical machines, a lot of virtual machines, some containers. They each has its own target. And we have a lot of fun. Mashani, beautiful server. Some quick story from our day life. We just released Java 13. And it is very same day guys finished work. Our lab in the office was switched off because of some construction works. So, if you have your own hardware, not somewhere in data center, but in the office, you take some risks. Yeah, but we have nice stuff there. So to build OpenJDK, there's nothing complex there. You just clone from Mercurial or from Git. You configure and you build. No problem. You see there's already some error here because you have to put the entire address that you clone. But it's easy to fix. Well, when you fix path for checking out sources, it's fine, especially the JDK 9 and next JDKs, because there's one source tree. With JDK 8 you have several source trees. Well, it's not that complex too, but it makes some interesting effects. But you need to set up your build in a proper way, especially for platforms like Solaris or Mac. Sometimes we need few machines for different machines for different stages of the build. So we prepare tool chains, keep them to make builds stable and to get proper binaries. What's also interesting, it's a work of making JDK compilable by latest GCC. So for Linux, for example, that really is a good thing, because latest GCC 8 and latest 7 updates, they have very important fixes to be applied and built in a binary. So you have to worry about that. And also we expect some performance results. So we tried something, some tool chain, and it doesn't work. So what do we do next? We have software engineers, right? So we fix it. So how do we fix it? We change something in source code and build procedures, and then we forget about it? No. Of course, it's better to contribute all change back to community, to let it be buildable for everyone. So that's what we do. But also, sometimes you need to fix the tool chain that you use. So for example, GCC, sometimes maybe not very honor to us. but we can fix it. All right, so we got some successful build. How do we test it, right? It's very simple. We have some Java built from right sources, right? It's OpenJDK. So let's launch Spring Pet Clinic. It's fine. Sure. I think it's a good test. Except, don't walk from your home after sunset. So what we really need is a good testing with lots of tests. That is what TCK is for. Technology Compatibility Kit that assures that distribution that you built is actually Java, that it conforms Java specification, at least using that many tests. Hundreds of thousands of tests. So it's a closed source thing. It's updated every major release of Java. And you have to have a license from Oracle to use it and to report that your distribution passes TCK. So not every something that you call OpenJDK passes this testing. Like maybe you know some other JDKs. No service here, but yeah. People started using different JDKs, not Oracle JDK, or even not Oracle OpenJDK.
I've heard Twitter builds their own and even adds secret sauce.
Yeah.
Do they not run the TCK then?
I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Probably not.
Yeah.
So Amazon has TCK, for example.
Yeah.
Google, don't know, but they don't redistribute anyway. So we pass TCK, we are fine, ship it. Right? We run Pet Clinic, we pass TCK, very good, right? Yeah, not right. But at least you must pass it. The thing here is that you really may see errors if you have TCK license and if you run TCK properly, failures happen. So that's our practice. And sometimes it's not obvious what happens, really, especially when something is changed in concurrency stuff. You immediately start to see some interesting effects. And also platforms that are not Intel. So, for example, in Oracle, most testing is done on x86 machines. So something may break silently, and others will notice it later. So TCK is very important. But, as I said, sometimes you really find bugs using TCK. There are several large test suites, like TCK is just one of them, and it's supposed to be the most stable one, but also a very humongous one. For example, then we used compact strings on ARM. It just failed. Yeah.
How long does it take to run the TCK?
It's a good question. Typically it takes a few days. Because in particular it includes some manual testing that has to be manual. So it's a nature of that test. Few tests. It looks like interesting, funny days in office. A few people see it and pass the manual testing, and all machines burn CPU, burn testing. So yeah. And anyway, then we found some bug using TCK. What shall we do? We should go and fix it in OpenJDK. We contributed back. And finally, yeah,
What does use compact strings do?
it's a new feature in JDK probably 9. You know, better JDK maybe 8, some update. I don't remember exactly. But what it does, it represents ANSI strings as 1 byte strings, so 1 byte characters. It saves your memory. So string now has a different internal structure. It has a so-called coder field that denotes what kind of string it is. Is it 2 byte string or 1 byte string? And everything in JDK works like imagine you have 2 strings and you have to compare them. And they may be differently encoded. One may be 1 byte character string, and another one maybe 2 byte character string. And in all places where you have very special effective implementation for that, you have to write logic for all 4 combinations, obviously, to check, for example, how to compare different strings depending on encoding. But it really saves lots of space in memory, and also some throughput. It gives some throughput because of less memory and of shorter strings. So when you, for example, do some operation like index of, you go through an array. So if it's a shorter array, it just works faster. More dense data that fits in caches, and shorter loops. So it's way better. All right. So now we say it cannot be slightly compatible. You're either compatible or not. So it's like pregnancy. And that's why you have to have TCK, because it's a mandatory thing to be really compatible. All right, so we passed TCK testing. Are we ready? No? Not yet. There's one more big test suite called JDK, and also some other tests like Google test and others. They are open source, so then you check out OpenJDK. You can explore all the tests. They appear because of some bugs, of course. So they are the real regression tests. Sometimes they are kind of unit tests, but still for regression testing. Lots of tests, more than 20,000 of them. Developed for a very long time. Some big chunks of JDK tests were deprecated, were removed, even probably after open sourcing them. And of course, you have to pass all the tests except some special ones that are known to be buggy because of, for example, new functionality that someone had to deliver, but sometimes tests may fail. That may be sporadic failures or something, so there are explicit tests. And, there are different modes, and we run the tests, and we see failures. Because we passed TCK, we passed Spring Pet Clinic, but it's not a guarantee that JDK test won't fail. So when they fail, what shall we do? Go and fix OpenJDK. Because we are contributors. We had a nice booth on Oracle Con 1. We stand for the enterprise, and one of so 3 superheroes. One superhero is TC Keeper, the one is Country Booster. Yeah, and of course Liberica JDK herself. So we fixed OpenJDK, and now our regression testing as well. What's next? It's fine, it's green. we may face some concurrency bugs, especially on some interesting architectures, again, like ARM. What's special about ARM is that different ARMs are really different. Even same vendor may have ARM machines that behave differently than they deal with concurrency. And there's a special testing suite and tool called GC Stress to check behavior of both hardware and Java in concurrent cases. So we have to run it to see what happens. Sometimes, you see some red things, and what to do, of course? Go fix OpenJDK. All right. Then you have to measure. Because maybe you built a slow debug version and ship it as a product version, which may be not good. It didn't happen. That would be fun. But anyway, again, for additional platforms, for additional hardware, anyway, you have to check what happens. Other performance regressions, or maybe improvements, so you can report, we did it. I don't know. Yeah, but you have constantly to check what happens, then you contribute. Do you break things? Do you break performance? And what happens to the fixes of other contributors? So it's a part of our work to benchmark stuff. Not only like these tests, only some, for example, Hadoop workloads, other things. So, yeah, as I said, we use Bench, our popular stuff. I don't know, they use like Lucene or derived products, but probably yes. Okay, so everything works. Performance is great. Spring Pack Clinic is so green, right? What next? No? So, when we test, we face a really hard problem. The space for testing is just comparable with complexity of the universe. So you have to choose your paths for testing, to choose what you do, flag combinations, priorities, subsets, stuff like that. Sounds boring, but it is really some work to be organized and done by humans, not just by Jenkins running somewhere. But Jenkins also helps us. So, we're ready to deliver pizza. By the way, it looks great, but I cannot eat anything because I'm here for a few days, but I already feel it like, okay, ready to go home from nice US food. Couple of pounds more. Okay, so we deliver OpenJDK. We have to make it available in a handy ways. Not just go somewhere, download this archive. It doesn't work, by the way, or the link is broken. No, you open your favorite SDK man, brew, chocolate, something I don't remember. You download DMG, double click, and everything works with no warnings. You see installer, Eclipse launches, things like that, to be useful. That's the key point here. So when we do it also, I personally very like our repositories for yum and apt. So I just update my Java everywhere using system update tools. And it's so easy and so handy, and I always get latest stuff. It's really good. Okay, so we have delivered high quality pizza with nice smell. Sometimes not. Because if you look at Jira for OpenJDK bugs, you'll find a lot of open bugs. Probably not too many critical P1s because release is released only when all P1s are made P2s. You know. Yeah,
That's a good source.
but still. And so, what shall we do when we work with that bugs? Well, as a part of support, we must fix them because that bugs may be really annoying for someone very important, for our customer. So that is what commercial support is for. Just getting SLAs for fixing bugs in OpenJDK and get an well-packaged, shiny OpenJDK distribution that passes all testing we can imagine. All right, that's it for OpenJDK part. By the way, there are some Liberica stickers. A couple of them left. They look like this.
It's getting old, I can't remember anyway.
I'm just curious if Liberica, anybody can download, or do you have to get a license?
It's free. So if you don't need commercial support, you can get security updates, long-term security updates for free. So for now we have, for example, 8U222, 1104, 1202, and we finally get 13, as I mentioned. So yeah, you just switch and you get updates, for example, automatically.
And you don't have to pay for it?
Yeah!
Is that free?
Yes, it's free, and on different platforms it's the same JDK. So same set of bugs, same models, kind of packages. That's really a reason for some people, for example, to use Corretto. That's why they made Windows builds. To provide the same source, built at the same time. So we do exactly the same.
Okay.
Right, maybe a short break,
All right.
or are we ready to continue? I am.
Let's take a few minute break, the pizza refill, the restroom break, and we'll come back in 5 minutes. Sound good? All right.